cases as possible, so that folks can see, how is the public sector using AI? What are some of those cool new use cases? And so I'm going to go over what a couple of those look like, because we've been experimenting with some grants management, and I can also talk about, just some of the things that we're exploring. And and then at the end of this, just like in good fashion that we usually do for our internal LLM use case committee, is we'll put it back to everyone else and see, hey, are there any use cases out there that you all have been thinking about, so that we can, continue to log them away. There have been some folks who have been experimenting with Gemini recently, and so if those folks are on, great. If not, we'd love to hear what some of those other use cases might be. So as a first go round, I want to show you what I was experimenting with. And this wasn't necessarily on the public side of it, but it was on the nonprofit side, and it still has, applicability. So as I've mentioned before, I'm the co-founder of the nonprofit Women Defining AI. And then I also have My Town AI, and My Town AI and Women Defining AI were applying together for a grant from Google. And the whole impetus for this grant and applying for it is so that our organizations can partner to create a grants manager agent. What do we mean by that? The agent being a semi-autonomous piece of software that can both search for grants, apply for grants, and then manage the grant throughout the entire life cycle. So this is something that our two organizations are applying together. And as a part of that, I showed what some of the capabilities could be in terms of what we have existing right now with AI. And so here I am. I've got this Google application, which is incredibly beefy, right? It's long, it's exhausting. Here we are on page 8, 9, 10, very similar to what we see in the public sector as well, right? For some of these RFPs. So I go into ChatGPT and I upload this entire Google grant, and I say, hey, can you look at the questions I need to answer in order to apply to the Google grant? Please answer the questions as Women Defining AI and My Town AI applying jointly to create an AI agent grants manager. This grant manager will be able to source grant opportunities, fill out applications, and also manage the grant throughout its life cycle. This grant manager will be open source and can have the ability to bolt on to My Town AI. So this actually is the goal is to make it completely open source, and then have other things that we can do on top of it. It says, hey, would you like me to draft all the answers in a collaborative document? Now, the reason why, and I say yes, please. The reason why I'm showing this particular, and I'm going to pause it here for just a sec, but I'm showing this because it's the more that I talk about AI and some of these other sectors, it's hard to keep up with what all the new things are that are launching within either ChatGPT or Claude, and this is the Canvas section of ChatGPT. And what Canvas allows you to do is, just as it said, it opens up a collaborative document that you can actually edit within ChatGPT. And so here it is, it's answering all those questions within my grant. But as you'll see here in just a moment, I'm going through and actually editing it, which is, instead of just copying the whole thing and putting it into a Google sheet, we are actually making the changes here. And I'm going through it and it's like, okay, these things look pretty good. I come down eventually to a section that says, hey, where are the data sets? What are these partner organizations that you want to write into it? And so I actually prompt it over here on the side, and I say, please update the application to reflect these data sources, and please find the link to them. And you're going to see here, I articulate that I want them to find the data source of like the National Gov grants, right, database. So I throw that in there. And then I also say, oh, and let's throw in DOLA. DOLA is the Department of Local Affairs here in Colorado. So now what it's doing is it's actually searching this document for that particular place that it needs to update. And there it is right there, where it now has a line that says for data access, the government grants database, gives a link to it. And I didn't tell it that it was the Colorado Department of Local Affairs, right? But it was able to extrapolate that based off just the acronym DOLA. So, and there I have a grants application that's, at least 80% of the way there or whatnot. Cross your fingers. Hopefully we get accepted into Google so that we can make an entire grants agent open source for both nonprofits and the public sector. So let me pause right there in case there are any questions on that particular use case. And I may not be able to see everyone to know. So, Angela, please let me know if anybody has a question.
Not seeing any questions right now in the chat yet.
Okay.
I do have a question. I'm sorry. This is Boyan. Just a quick question. I missed the part when you actually demo that. Like, did you use the ChatGPT, some type of the premium, or I couldn't see that because it was like the screen was cut off
Oh,
on
yeah.
half.
So it is the paid version of ChatGPT. Yeah.
Okay, so I do have the next question is gonna because we do have the such demand in in our organization, but the from the cybersecurity and some of the ITs, we're getting like pushbacks. So
Okay.
uh, did you kind of like in your organization, like did you get the approved somehow for that paid GPT Pro or
Well, yeah. And for my particular organization, so not necessarily the public sector, but I do use it for my nonprofit
okay,
and
got it.
yeah, and even for my business, but it does not, we turn off the training and everything, so it cannot train on our instance.
I got it. So basically, we do kind of like since it's that limitation and we understand that, so we are kind of trying to actually develop and use some nice features, but leverage the API calls either through Azure or AWS, and then that data actually the query data will not be used in the training. On the other side, documents that we are uploading are on our side. So I just had that question just to understand where that came from. So it's a GPT Pro.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
But perfect. But if you are piping in the API or whatnot, then you may not be able to use the Canvas function, right? And
Which
update.
is
Go ahead.
Canvas, what's the Canvas option? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the Canvas is just one of those options within Ch the ChatGPT, the paid version, not Operator, which is
Oh,
that.
I got it. I got it. You're talking about the playground, like the where you can actually build the agents, change the prompts, do the temperature, change the. Uh, I might actually. It's seeing is kind of like it's gonna be. Maybe I'm gonna demo something like in the next. So
Awesome. It is separate from Playground. Canvas is a feature just within ChatGPT, so it is separate from Playground. Um,
okay, got it.
yeah, but and we'll make sure that everyone gets these videos so you can like kind of slow it down and see what's going. Sorry, it's kind of fast right now, but yeah, I'll make sure everyone gets the videos. Okay.
Oh, got it. Thank you very much. So I did a quick Google search about the canvas on the ChatGPT to
Okay,
understand that a
cool.
little bit more. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions before I move forward? Okay. Now, this one I actually posted in our Slack, the Gov AI Coalition Slack. However, I